Hey, I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jenny.
And you're listening to the Super
Wonderful Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Super Wonderful Podcast. I'm in a good mood today. How are you?
I'm in a really good mood, except I was just sitting here doing some kind of martial arts, which I've never been trained in them. You have.
I have. I have a black belt in Taekwondo from when I was 19 and I'm 41. So, don't attack me.
But I like that we used to use that as a weapon.
Yes.
We would tell people she has a black belt. Move it along.
I loved that.
Be nice to us.
But here's the thing with Taekwondo. I felt like I could really hurt somebody if they came at me the way that people did in class.
Right. But it has to be that exercise.
Can you stand back so I can kick you the way that I want? As opposed to jujitsu, which is messy and on the ground and really that would be something. Not now because I'm weak. But I would have loved to have, wrestled with them dogs.
Wrestled.
Wrestled with them.
That's one of my favorite words, wrestling.
You are in my head every time I think about the past tense for reach. My first word is your voice going retch.
I reached back there and tried to get it, but it's out of my reach.
I have never said it in my life, but I always think it now. Every time.
I thought it was real. It was used in the South so much, I thought it was real.
I think I love it so much that my brain was like, I wish this were true.
Yeah, it'd be something. The South is an interesting place. So glad I'm from there.
Being from the South gives you a color in your arsenal that other people don't have.
Yeah, because if they try to do it and they weren't from there, it's offensive. So It's like that scary line.
Because it's a lot of people, you tell me. I feel like a lot of people, when they try to do comedy or whatever, look at the South and do it in a degrading way. And it's no, you have to respect it. You have to have respect for it. You can't just be rude. Yeah,
because the thing about coming from the South, and you have a Southern family, you have a lot of Southern families.
Yes.
So there's a purity to the people there that you just don't find other places.
Yeah.
There's a sweet naivete that I really appreciate. They don't like LA. When they visit LA, they're like, I don't know what you see in this place. They hated it. But they just, when they would come and visit, they came and it was very clear they were just coming to support me.
Yes.
I do not like it here. And it's this is where everybody wants to be. Not me.
Yeah. I mean, thank God, right? That would be boring if everybody wanted to live in the same spot and everybody wanted to look the same way. Some people do.
Yeah, because we before we even started rolling, we were kind of talking about how everybody does Botox now.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have a big upper lip. My bottom lip, she came prepared. She's fine. But my upper lip is where did you put it?
And so many people are doing the lip flip.
The lip flip.
This is what I have been told about my mouth.
Tell me. I was too excited. Tell me everything about your
Tell me everything about your mouth. Tell me about your mouth.
What's that mouth do? So creepy. I'm very sorry.
But they're when I'm in my resting bitch face, it looks too small for how much face real estate there is. If I'm smiling.
I love it.
Yeah, but here, because it feels like there's a lot of material going on. What I loved is I used to freak people out because I have very small hands. I'm a ring size 4. My hands are little. And I can
cover where are her features? They're gone.
They're
you do have a face.
Yeah. It's everything's just right here together.
I love it.
Yeah.
But I do, especially, maybe during the pandemic, was I don't know, getting a lip flip. I might be interested. Maybe when I go to my dermatologist, I'll ask about it. Because I haven't gone in years, but I want to go back and get microneedling done. Because I love microneedling.
That's the one I do. I love that one.
I love it. I need to go back and do it. I'll do it when it comes to winter. Now it's summer. No one wants to like needle their face and then go into direct sunlight. Like,
Yeah, I know. But
that's not good.
you only have to chill for like 10 days. Like 10
Yes.
days are like really intense. So I'm actually going to get microneedling Wednesday.
I'm so jealous.
And I'm like, I'm okay to be like away for 10 days because my nephew is getting married in like 3 weeks. So it'll be just
Congrats.
perfect for the photos for me to feel
Yes.
refreshed. So that's what I will do. I the injections scare me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not into that. And like we were talking about, somebody saying like, don't you want to like, you would look so much younger if you dyed your grays. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care.
It's glitter.
I've never
Sparkle.
cared, and there was that casting director who said to me like, you're gonna really hit in your 40s, like people are gonna get
That's
you.
right.
She said people are gonna get you in your 40s, like it's finally gonna be your time. Of course, like I'm not even really pursuing a lot right now, like I'm living in Florida or whatever, but I feel that in my soul, like I'm really comfortable in my 40s.
Yeah. Well, you look hot.
I appreciate it. Like I don't
You
know
look
about
super
if I
hot.
would use the word hot anymore.
I would. I did. And I will continue to do so.
I'm more like comfortable.
But being comfortable is hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I think that's the good thing about having had two children out of my vagina is like, who am I trying to be hot for anymore? Like, like I know what's happening.
But you've always had like like your body is always so insane. Like it feels like you bounce back so quickly.
Thank you. I did the first time. Um, because I got pregnant when I was 118 pounds
Oh my God.
and
Wow.
then gained like 30.
Because you're 5'5", right?
I am.
Yeah. Like that's tiny for 5'5".
And then that's back when I had just like gotten out of LA and I still was like, I don't know how to eat
Yeah.
appropriately, especially in Florida when everyone's
Yeah.
like,
There's
why are
nothing.
you, we
Yeah.
don't sell vegetables here. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
No,
You
but I
can
was in
have
Orlando
bread or breaded meat.
and I love bread so much. Like that's the thing. Like if somebody came up to me and said, you have to give up chocolate or you have to give up bread, I'd be like, take the fucking chocolate. I don't care. I
Yeah.
do not care about chocolate. Like it's fine. And if you give it to me, great. But if you had a gun and you were pointing it to chocolate and you were pointing it to bread, I'd be like, don't shoot my bread.
Yeah. I need my
Also,
bread.
why do you have a gun?
Well, yeah, these
These are the
scenarios always
questions.
gave me like anxiety because I'm like, I don't want to answer because I will never put myself in this situation. They're like, that's not the point of this. I'm like, but it is for me. Like
In Sophie's Choice.
this
I
feels
don't think I
quite
could
right.
ever watch that film. I Googled it the other day because I was like, it's, one of the best made movies of all time. And I was like, hard pass.
Mm-mm.
Can't. I
I don't
cannot.
need that. I don't
I
need that
don't
in my
need
life.
that. I can't. I do feel like the older I'm getting, the less interested I am in consuming things that make me feel horrible. And that could be
Yeah,
food, and that could
same.
be what I listen to, what I watch, the conversations I have, the books I read, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
I get
very,
it
very
now.
particular.
Yeah, I get it now. It has to be so campy that it's so fake for me.
Yes.
I love campy gore, like campy horror. Like I love it super campy.
Well, yes. I feel like the only thing I could ever relate that to, because I don't handle any kind of horror at all, is Mel Brooks, Dracula Dead and Loving It, when they're putting the stake into this vampire and the blood keeps gushing out like all over their faces. And it's hilarious and gross, but
Yeah,
it's just such a farce that you're like,
yeah,
ha ha ha, you have blood all over you. Hilarious.
yeah. And you love Buffy.
I love Buffy. I told my daughter when she was taking a bath last night, she's really into monsters right now. So she's like, are monsters real? Where are they? Like, she's just like kind of in this world of like monsters are a thing. And so she's like, what color have you ever seen have you ever seen a video with a monster in it? And I was like, yes. And she was like, what did you watch that had a monster? And I said, there's a show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and there are tons of monsters on it, and I love it a lot.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
like
doing a
my
reboot.
jam. Yeah, you're getting a reboot,
Oh
girl.
my gosh. Very exciting.
Very
Very
exciting.
exciting. I was never a fan of Dawn's, but like it's obviously devastating about Michelle Trachtenberg and that she's passed.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Really sad.
Because I bet like in the reboot she would have been like amazing. I feel like, you know, hindsight's 2020. Like whoever is writing and working on this would have been like, here are the things the fans didn't love.
Yeah.
And now's our
Let's make
chance to
them
kind of
great.
fix
that. Yeah.
and give people like a redemption arc. So
Yeah.
they like them again. Did you ever read any of the Buffy graphic novels like after the show was over? I started
I did not.
to.
I didn't. But you know, I love that Ted Raimi had us come in and do that improv for him. That was so fun.
That was really fun. That was really fun. I remember there was one line that he laughed that I did. So it was like, can we talk about it? That's fine, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So we came in and did improv for, do you remember the film?
I don't even remember what the film was called, but he was writing a comedy, and it was a great little script, and he wanted to like add some funny comedy moments to it, and he just wanted to spend an afternoon with some improv comedians, like improving and like
Ty
giving
came
scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Our friend Ty Edwards.
Ty and Mike Mento.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Such a good group of people. And then I got to be there, too.
Yeah.
But I was doing a bit, I think, with Ty, and we were supposed to be like, we wanted to see the monster because it was like an attraction. And I guess what happens in the movie would be like the monster turns on the people and starts attacking them. But I think it was a sea creature. And so they were telling us like, you can't see the sea creature right now, probably because like it's turning feral. And so like, it's actually not like a great time. And I was like yelling at this invisible person, like the worker. I'm like, I don't care if you need to put on an octopus costume and flop around in the water. I paid money to see an animal, and I'm going to see an animal. And he laughed out loud. And I remember feeling like, when you get a genuine laugh and not just like a, that was
especially from somebody like him who like we love him and we have seen him like in all like Xena Warrior Princess, like he's so like in our universe of things we love, and us getting to do that for him, like the director who connected me to that and said, do you have like a handful of friends to come and do this? I was like, are you serious? But I was like, oh okay, yeah. You know.
Did Manders come in too?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember that.
I invited Britt and Michael Luganville and the guy Mark Premiano. Oh yeah, God. I love Mark. I love him. Yeah,
like oh my gosh. So, when did we start doing stand-up together? Do you remember?
Oh my God, like 2003.
Well, I didn't start doing stand-up then.
2005, because it was 2 years. I think it was pretty early because this is the thing. The first time we did it was when we did that sketch comedy show.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
We started doing. No, I do, because that was the first place we workshopped our act. Because we would open a lot of those shows with one of our songs and close with one of our songs.
Well, we had a sketch. I think it was the very last sketch of the whole thing. And it was in a porn shop. And we were like making fun. I don't even like to say making fun of. We were having a commentary about like coffee house music. But like, what if a coffee house music person were performing at a porn shop? And like you kind of have to cater towards your audience. And so very quickly, like we wrote some songs, and I wouldn't ever say they were good, but I think it was like a really great way to transition from the safety of scripted comedy and then going into stand-up.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
And it was amazing because you and I kind of there was like this magic about us on stage together. And I like, even me being one of the two of us, like, I don't mind saying that. It was that like electric when we were together. And I remember it's back then people would talk about how hard it was to do bringer shows because nobody comes out. That is not the case for us. Like when we had like a legit show and we invited people, they showed up. So there was this one show at the Ha Ha Cafe in North Hollywood where it was actually the night I met Crystalia, long-term friend, who got in a lot of trouble, but but it's kind of like rough waters.
Podcast.
That's another podcast. But he and I always were we had a lot of fun together. But anyways, we're at Ha Ha Cafe, and they keep pushing us because our audience is the crowd.
Yes.
So I used to time it out to where I would have one drink before stage. One drink just to loosen up and be fine. And I would have it. So we were supposed to go on middle of the show.
Yes.
So about 2 comics in, I have my whiskey. Then they keep putting more people. And they keep pushing to keep our audience. And so I start getting pissed and I have another drink and I have another drink. So by the time we were getting ready to go up, our friend came over and was like, hey, how do you want me to announce you? I said, Michelle and Jenny. He goes, okay, great. And then the guy on stage said, bitch, can you shut the fuck up? Yeah, in front of everybody. And he doesn't know, like, this whole room are people who love us. And I said, he's asking me how to be announced. So I'm answering him. I'm showing respect to the host. He said, well, show respect to your comic that's up here. Da, 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 da. And then everybody got quiet. And he goes, oh, fuck me. Is this a room full of her friends? And everybody's like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's literally what's happening.
Your friends aren't here. Look, do you know anyone? Then it's not for you. But so I went up and I was a little too drunk. And I was very mad at him. But I mean, we still killed because it was our friends.
Oh, yeah. And I was the opposite because I never, ever liked to drink when we went up.
Mm-hmm. So that was probably a lot of fun for you to be totally sober and me to be shit-faced and angry.
Well, here's what was so funny is I remember going up there and I made like a little throwaway joke that wasn't that funny. And all of our friends, because they had been forced to stay past when they were promised, they'd all been drinking extra, which is what they wanted. Yeah. They want everyone to keep buying drinks and staying longer and being a good crowd. So we were hilarious to them.
Yeah.
A set I thought was like a perfectly good set, but they were like dying laughing. And it's like, that would be vodka.
Yes. And so for me, I was sitting there like, after the show, I'm like, I will never get drunk before I go up again. That just didn't feel like my best. But I don't, like, this is the thing. It was so well received that it should have done the opposite. And I should have just been drunk for the rest of our shows. But yeah, that was kind of the turning point show for me where I was like, I'm going to stop drinking before the show.
Yeah. I think I'm sure that I did once or twice, like, I'll drink a little bit before I go up, but I have to be on. Like I had to play the guitar and like, we had to be on. And I feel like with comedy, it's one thing to like get a little bit silly sitting around somebody's living room. And it's a very different thing to have to deliver a tight 10 before the light shines and your time is up. And are you going to get booked again? Was that, whatever. So many things.
Well, what I love is like one time we did the Playboy comedy night.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And then we went and did Playboy radio. We did a spot on there.
That was a nightmare.
I don't know if you remember, but like I showed the lady my boobs.
You remember how you were angry at the other one? I was angry at this one. Yeah. They just try to do us so dirty. And I can't remember. I still have the recording, I bet, somewhere. Yeah. And so I don't remember the name of the show, but it was a guy and it was a girl. And we were supposed to go on there and they said, you do not have to get naked. It's Sirius XM, right? Like it's radio.
Yeah. And
So
you are promoting your comedy. So
it's
that's
fine.
fine.
We were also promoting Lucky Legendary.
Mm-hmm.
So we showed up as Supergirl and Wonder Woman. And it was early. It was like early morning call.
Yeah.
And they were like, it is like the segment, the whole big like hook for the show was trivia. And if you got the question wrong, you had to like take off an article of clothing. So like I remember I got a question wrong and I had to take off my cape. And the guy he was like, oh, everybody, she looks exactly the same. Like I thought that was funny. He was like, you're just taking a cape off. You look literally the same. But he, I think, was used to having women on who had men in their life that like abused them verbally, because he was like, he introduced us and like everyone was really nice. And then we went to break and he was like, so are you guys going to get naked? And we were like, no, we're not. That's not what we were told at all. We said we could just go down to like a bikini or like bra and panties, right? Like whatever. He's like, well, most of the girls on here, no, he probably said all of them. Like everybody that comes on this show, like it's understood, like you have to show your boobs or something. And we were like, no, we're not doing that. And then he got mad. Like he turned from being like nice host guy to like, you're disappointing me. Like you're a problem. I'm going to make you feel bad, and stormed out of the room. He's like, I have a headache, and like ran out. And I was like, well, this guy's neat.
Yeah, and you know, that's funny. That's your perspective of what you remember. And I remember I liked the girl.
The girl was fine.
And I was kind of flirting with her, and she showed me her boobs, so I showed her my boobs.
Well, they were working, so she was good cop, bad cop, because he left, and she goes, it's just boobs, it's not a big deal, and pulled up her top. She wasn't wearing a bra, and she's like, see, I don't, like, flapped them, like, I don't care. It's just boobs, it's just skin. And I was like, that's fine, but we're still not doing it.
Yeah.
And he came back in and was like, so, like, where are they now? Like, are they going to do it to her? Yeah. Like checking in with her, because it was her job to be the woman and talk us into it. And she's like, no, I don't think they're going to do it. And he was like, it's going to be a stupid show.
Yeah. Well, fine.
And he was mad because the questions were geared to like make you mess up to get naked. So like the question, like one of the questions he asked me was, how do you spell escargot? And I was like, I got it. And I spelled it correctly. And he was like, nope, there's an S at the end because it's plural. And it's like, okay.
Idiot.
But yeah, you did show your boobs. Thank God. Because you looked at me at one point and you were like, one of us is going to have to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. She showed me hers. I'll show her mine.
We did kiss.
Yeah, we kissed. It's like, we would have done that anyways.
We were doing it before we even started filming. With our young lips. Unmarred by sunspots.
Oh yeah, that was so fun. I really loved like our time in LA doing comedy, and there was something about like when we would be on a set and people would be like, you two are so funny, you should do comedy. And we're like, we do.
Funny story. Now you're the one that named us effing witty. We ended up kind of leaving that behind and just going by Michelle and Jenny. But why?
because that was the first review that we ever got.
Yes. Somebody said, oh, you guys are so fucking witty. And you're like, okay, we'll just be that.
Then we are, okay, we're effing witty. You know. Our band. So that was our band name for a while. Yeah, it was fun. And then we moved into Michelle and Jenny.
Somebody said to us once, like, you guys are really lucky you're funny, because that is like a bold statement to be like, we're fucking witty and here's our set. And like, what if you're not?
What if you're not? But I remember one time before we were going on, like there was an audience and it's like all these hot girls in the front who were like with their boyfriends, and they were really like looking at us as we were approaching. And then like, I just knew, okay, this is how we get them on our side. And I said, oh, I was taking a shit before when they called our name and I hurried out, so I didn't have time to wash my hands. So I'm sorry to whoever holds this next. I was rushed. And then they started laughing. And I was like, you had to be, look, I'm so gross. I'm not an option for your guy. I'm disgusting. I'm a bridge troll. And then the girls were on your side. And for me, like, going into that, like, you got to get the girls on your side, because then we've been on the stage many a time where if the guys start laughing at us, the girl is like, don't laugh at her. It was just the time for girls to hate other girls. Like, now it's very positive.
Yeah, it was like a really weird line you had to walk, because you had to be non-threatening to the women, but then you still had to be sexy enough to the guys to even earn stage time.
Yeah.
Because, like, why would they just stare at a girl in a t-shirt, no makeup? Like, that's not fun.
And that's when, like, the green room situation was always really weird.
Yes.
I know we were together. We very rarely hung out in the green room. We would go out and sit out at the bar, sit on the stage. Like, it's like, because if you go in the green room as a girl with the guys back then, you just got, oh, are you funny? Oh my, they would like, won't you give me head? Like,
well,
no.
And it was almost like they had to test you too. In the green room with a bunch of the dude comics, I felt like they would make jokes about women to you to make sure, like, you were cool. Like, can you take it? Like, we're going to make a joke about women being dumb or on their periods or emotional. And if you could laugh along, then it was like you passed, then you can hang. But if you were like, that's dumb, and also here's why, they'd be like, ugh, can't you take a joke?
And back
You're
then,
a comic.
It was such a fine line also to walk in that, because every show would just have like one, maybe two girls on it.
Yes.
So we would take up that space for women, and it's like, you better be the kind that are cool. And then you would get rebooked if you towed the line just the right way.
Absolutely. And during our time when we were going up a lot, I felt like that was like the Amy Schumer time and Whitney Cummings, and like it was blue. It was like the bluer the better. Why would I look at a woman stand up there and talk about anything other than blowjobs?
We were on a night with Whitney Cummings at the Comedy Store one time. She went up right after us, and I remember she did this joke where she said she talked about getting raped in a nightclub, because like people back then would like have sex in a nightclub because there was no phones and no security cameras, so that would happen. So she was making a joke about that guy raping her, and then someone asked her about it, and she said, look, he was a rapist, he was a bad guy, but he didn't deserve herpes. Like, she had given him herpes. And I was just like, what?
And if you listened carefully, then you'd be like, oh, there's like a sinister layer to this.
Yes.
Recently, I told my personal trainer that I used to do stand up, and they're like, it always blows people's minds, because I think it's just like such a scary thing to do on purpose.
Yeah.
I agree. And she's like, did you ever have a joke that like killed? And I'm like, yes. Are you ready? She was like, I guess, like, you're like, I just had a baby. So she's like, oh, this 40-year-old mom coming in telling me. And the joke that would always work is, oh my gosh, I am losing so much weight right now. Like, I'm running faster. I'm looking so good. And people ask me like, oh, what's your secret? I go, well, when I go on the treadmill, I wear a thong. So it crawls up inside my body. So I feel like I'm being raped. And so I just run faster. And then like the faster I run, and if I scream, like I'm burning all these calories, and I'm really skinny now. And she was like, what?
Oh, yeah, it was a different time. My favorite one you would say is after we would sing a song and we would end on a like hold out a note, and then you would go, oh my God, I'm crying from my vagina. They're gonna need a napkin when I get up.
I forgot about that.
That one was
like those
favorite.
kinds of jokes. Yeah, my favorite was like normally after that I'm running because I'm being sexually assaulted was, anyway, speaking of dads, Father's Day is coming up. And then we went into a song about wanting to have sex with somebody's dad. Yeah. We performed at House of Blues a lot for a while. Yeah. And my boyfriend at the time, my husband now, was there in the back room, kind of just like watching. That sounds creepy, but it was his job to support me in life. Yeah. And so he
was our band manager.
Band manager. Oh my God, that's right. I'm with the band. And he was hearing the commentary, and these two older guys, we had just done like, look at this penis, like everything was sexual pretty much.
Yeah.
And he goes, when we started doing the daddy song, Ken was like, they go, oh my God, it's another song about sex. Like, it's like, but they didn't realize, like, if we didn't do that, we wouldn't be on stage.
That's why we're here. Yeah.
Now, we did do some covers. We did like Fergie, London Bridge, and then T.I.'s Whatever You Like. And I felt like
Lady Gaga.
Wait, which Lady Gaga did we do?
Born This Way.
Yeah. And then one time you were at a different event with comics, and somebody did our act, the T.I. act, and you were like,
they opened for Paolo Nutini.
Yeah.
It was it was like at the Avalon. And I'm sitting there, and she was talking about, she lived in West Hollywood, and that's where we would do it a lot, in West Hollywood, like at the Improv and places like that. And she did our intro and our arrangement. And I just said, I need to step outside. And I had to step outside for a minute because I was so like irritated. Well, I was like, at least that shows like what we're doing is good, you know,
for somebody else.
Yeah, like good for her. She's performing it at the sold out show at the Avalon.
Yeah, good for you, ma'am. I remember the first time we ever performed at the Improv on Melrose. My dad was in town. My dad is a pastor. And I was like, I need to get ready for the show. I'm so excited that my dad's going to be here, but I'm also very nervous because he's a pastor and we say fuck a lot. And so I come out of my bedroom and I'm wearing hot pants and like a corset top from Victoria's Secret and Louboutin like 5-inch heels and my guitar case. And my dad was like, where are you going? I was like, to do my comedy show. You're coming with me. He's like, wearing that? I was like, oh yeah. So in order to be a woman in comedy, like this is the outfit.
This is it. This is how you get stage time.
He was so supportive, sat there and laughed and applauded. And, you know, he's like, I'm going to pray for you a lot.
Yeah, he was great. You know, that's that example of how supportive our family was. Because my family went to us I was receiving the key to the city in my little town, Maynardville, Tennessee. And we started to go up to do our act. And my papa said, don't do anything that'll embarrass me. I was like, oh God. So you and I wrote a new song.
About Food City.
Yeah, the town grocery store is where everybody would hang out. So we wrote a song about the grocery store and how much it meant to the city. And that's what we performed.
And they liked it.
Yeah, they loved it. So, we love that place.
We talked about Clay Aiken in it.
Mm-hmm. We were hitting all the hits. Those
we actually hits. Wrote it in a food city. Do you remember?
Yes.
Like, let's just, for inspiration, we'll go.
And we'll sit there in the bakery area and the deli.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Memories. Let's do
another
remember
world.
When. Oh, that is another world. Oh, I've got a good remember when. Okay. Do you remember when the one and only time we performed at the Ice House in Pasadena, and we were bombing? I don't know. Yeah. It was a small crowd. It was like in a back room. I don't know what wasn't working, but it just wasn't working. And so I made a joke, and this is like a series of jokes that we did right before the next song. And so I did the joke and nobody laughed. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Maybe they didn't hear me. So I said the exact same joke again and nobody laughed. And I was like, is this thing on? Like, and I said it one more, like 3 times. Like it didn't work the first time. I don't know why saying it more times was the answer. And one guy, thank God for this guy, goes, ha! And then I was like, thank you. Like now we can go on to the next thing. And we never got asked back to that one.
No.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. I mean, it was in Pasadena. Like we were definitely a Hollywood show. We were a Hollywood show. And that's where we did our bits, you know, on the Sunset Strip in West Hollywood, like at the Cat Club, at the House of Blues. Like we
did okay at Flappers. Flappers was Burbank.
Oh yeah. Flappers
and
was
we did okay at Flappers.
Yeah. We did.
Improv, I think, was my favorite stage.
Yeah, the Improv was my favorite stage too.
But we did get accidentally booked too many times at serious events with serious singers.
Oh yeah, too many times. Yeah.
And after
'Cause
somebody
it's
got
like
up there,
they would go and do like what we were making fun of. And it's like, that feels off. We probably shouldn't do
we
that.
never, and those shows always were the worst.
Yeah.
When we got up there and we're like, we're doing your bit.
Yeah. Sorry for making fun of what you do.
So sorry. Sorry. My gosh, that's it. Like
That's
I
it.
can't believe we talked so many minutes.
We talked so many
We
minutes.
talked all of the minutes. We did
And,
them
and
all.
I know that you know this, but like those were like legit the best times of my life doing stand up with you. It was just amazing. It was such a magical time, and I've never felt more powerful.
It's weird, yeah.
You have to listen to us.
You're trapped with your 2-drink minimum.
Yeah.
Can't go anywhere. Would you still do stand up now?
It would be very different, but yeah, I would. I probably would, because it was just like the best.
Yeah, it was fun. I think our songs are very problematic, and I wouldn't do them now.
No, of course
There
not.
was
Like,
one that was really fun that we got to go. Like, it was like Tenacious D almost, where we go out a little wild,
yeah,
and it wasn't sexual. It was like the one that we were like, let's start doing something that we want to do,
yeah,
and it got really fun.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you guys have any, we talked about this last time. Let's do this next time. A Q&A. If you guys have questions that you would love us to answer, stories you want us to tell, we are Super Wonderful Podcast on Instagram. Follow us. Ask us some questions. We'll tell you some answers. And I love you.
I love you.
You. All right, everybody. Love you. Bye. See you next time.
Love you. Bye.